Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and pain, suffering, and pain, suffering, and pain, suffering, and
freeze. They give the contestant a head start, and then watch this guy in the freeze suit.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Watch this, folks.
I mean, the guy had what, a 200-foot head start?
At least.
Look at this guy go.
This guy is beautiful. Look at the blue guy.
The guy thought he was going to win.
Exactly.
Let's play a game. You see, it's not just any game. No, it's the biggest game in the Olympics, held every few years in the anime fan base. A game, the Oppression Olympics, Misfortune Matches Tribulation Tournament, the never-ending competition between anime fans about who suffered the most. I know it's weird, but we do it anyway. Something about proving your favorite character went through a great deal of trauma, just adds that feeling of maturity to you, and when you call it, makes you feel good.
Is that a gram? New card. What do you think?
Whoa, very nice. Look at that.
Picked them up from the printers yesterday.
It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing. Look at this.
That is really nice.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
White.
Impressive. Very nice. Let's see Paul Allen's card. Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my God.
What is suffering? We live in a new day and age of comfort. And yes, I said, y'all all gone soft. And I have heard some ridiculous things that count as suffering, so we need to know what the word actually really means so we don't mix it up and get some of you firing down the comments section. The word suffering refers to the state of undergoing pain, distress, hardship, or emotional turmoil. It encompasses physical and emotional discomfort, anguish, and adversity. Suffering can result from various causes, including physical injuries, emotional trauma, illness, or difficult life circumstances. It's a broad term that describes the experience of distress or discomfort that can be both physical and psychological in nature. Now that's out of the way, let's begin, shall we? I found a list that caught my eye, and I couldn't just resist and had to make a video about it. It was a list about who suffered the most between Itachi, Kurapika, Kaneki, Levi, Kashi, La, Hakamaru, Thorfinn, Shinji. Hear me out. I'm not saying we should engage in this kind of debates, but they can be so juicy. You just have to think about it for a moment. How important is hardship to a character? Well, I will say very important, just as how the art is making the personality of said characters. But sometimes the writer does kind of go overdrive on those trauma buttons and makes the pain of the character just too much even for me, and I'm a cold guy. Why does hardship matter so much to anime characters, and why do we connect with them during their tough times? It's not just about watching. It's about feeling a deep connection like a friend going through life's challenges. In anime, hardship isn't just drama. It's a transformative journey. Just like in our lives, when we face challenges, we grow and evolve. That's why we connect with these characters. It's like cheering on a close friend as they conquer their fears. Whispering, "You've got this." It's not just entertainment. It's a life lesson. These characters teach us about friendship, resilience, and finding our path. It's like they're mentors in our quest, saying, your journey is a triumph too. In the midst of their ordeals, they become your philosophical guides. They say, if I can overcome, so can you. Their stories are the parables of your life, offering wisdom on resilience, hardship, and personal growth. All right, enough. Let's begin. We started with Itachi.
兄さん、目が。お前もいつかこの目を持つ日が来るんだろうか。この悲しみを知る日が。
Itachi often chooses to take on burdens so that others don't have to. For example, he assumes the burdens of being an older brother, a ninja, a spy, a traitor, and a martyr, all in hope of sparing other people from pain. Itachi single-handedly attempts to save his brother and the entire village. All of those responsibilities create a lot of stress and anxiety that wear on the body. Itachi himself even acknowledges he attempted to do too many things on his own. When he is revived during the Fourth Shinobi War, he warns Naruto that attempting to do everything alone will lead to failure. No matter how strong you become, don't try to bear the weight by yourself. You will fail. Don't forget about your friends. Now, to quickly summarize his part of the story, he's a prodigy in the world of ninjas, belonging to a very prestigious and feared clan. At a very young age, it was a war zone between nations of this world, and his father brought him around age 10 to experience war. After a battle was over, he tried to offer a dying enemy ninja a bottle of water and was immediately attacked. He was forced to kill the ninja. And surrounded by corpses, his father explained that this wasn't a fight between men, it's a war between nations. There was no room for such kindness. He then constantly questioned the meaning of life and death in such a world. As he continued, his path problems within his own village grew. The Uchiha were feared by the rest of the clan's intention was quickly begun to erupt. The village did acknowledge Itachi as a prodigy and took him into their elite crew of masked assassins by age 13, one of the youngest to ever join. The Uchiha saw his as a chance to use Itachi as a spy in the village's plans due to his rank, and he slowly became a double agent. Being pressured by both sides for information, he became a very lonely person. The eye of the storm of hatred. And the only person he seemed to enjoy being around was his brother Sasuke's innocence to the world was a form of salvation of his own darkness. And he could never be around his brother because of all that he had to do. But he loved his brother more than anything else. The darkest times came when the Uchiha were officially going to start civil war within the village and take on every other ninja. This would result in the other nations coming in and annihilating everyone who remains. The village went up to Itachi and told him that no matter what happens, all of the Uchiha will die. He was given a chance. If he killed all of the Uchiha, they would allow his little brother to live, or he can die with the rest of his clan. They explained that it had to be him. Should someone else from the village kill them, Sasuke would want revenge when he's older, so he would have to die too. After all Itachi has witnessed, he just wanted peace. He didn't want his whole clan and his village to die. Most importantly, he didn't want to lose that night, Itachi had to slaughter every last member of the Uchiha before Sasuke got home. His father had the power to kill him, but told him he didn't want to have a death battle with his own son. As Itachi stood there with a sword with tears in his eyes, his father said, "Though our views are different, I am proud of you, son. You truly are a peaceful child. And our pain will be over in an instant, but yours will be one that you carry with you for the rest of your days. Just promise me one thing, take care of Sasuke." He could hardly keep holding his sword and hardly see through the tears, but made the promise and killed both his parents. At that moment, Sasuke walked through the door and Itachi quickly went emotionless. He knew in order to keep Sasuke safe, he had to bear his hatred. He told his little brother that he killed them all to test the limit of his abilities and told him to hate him, loathe him with every fiber of his being, and use that hatred to become stronger. That one day when he's strong too, that's when he can challenge Itachi further. He then knocked Sasuke out cold. Itachi went on with his life, bearing the hatred of his brother for years, until one day Sasuke fights and kills Itachi, only to uncover the truth of his brother's love for him afterwards. Itachi died with a smile on his face after seeing how strong his little brother has become. He only wanted peace. The pain and mental scars of war at a young age changed him on a deep level. He had to make such a choice under the worst of circumstances, and he made his decision because of the sadness he felt being surrounded by thousands of dead corpses. His multifaceted nature as both a tragic hero and a powerful antagonist, combined with his self-sacrifice for the greater good, makes him a standout character in the series and a symbol of the moral ambiguity often explored in the show. Up next, Kurapika.
機嫌直してくれたかな？
許してあげる。
そうか。これでパパも一安心だ。
クラピカ、残りの競売と買い物の付き添いは私たちでやるから、しばらく一人で休んだら。
そうか。すまないが、そうさせてもらう。
Imagine a world where your family or clan possessed a rare and precious resource, akin to the scarlet eyes of Kurta Clan. These unique family treasures were sought after, not for their intrinsic value, but for the exorbitant prices they could fetch at an auction. Tragically, in this world, your family or clan fell victim to ruthless individuals who, driven solely by the allure of money, hunted down your loved ones. The devastation and pain that would accompany such a loss would be immeasurable, much like Kurapika's experience when the Phantom Troop massacred his clan. Kurapika is a member of a race in an ethnic group called the Kurta Clan. The Kurta Clan have eyes that turn a beautiful scarlet color when they feel overwhelming emotions. Due to these eyes, they isolated themselves from the rest of the world. Their eyes were thought to be evil or satanic, and because they were rare and a sought-after collectible sold on the black market for millions, it's crucial to emphasize that these eyes only turn a vivid, brilliant red when their owners experience intense emotions. This means that in order to acquire these valuable resources, those seeking to exploit them would likely resort to brutal and inhumane methods. I'm sure you can see where this is going. The Phantom Troop, a brutal gang of criminals, decided they wanted that sweet, sweet blood money, so they descended on the Kurta. To force the full-blooded clan members to manifest their scarlet eyes, their spouses from outside the clan and the children their union produced were tortured and murdered in front of their terrified and angry family. The full-blooded Kurta were decapitated and their eyes were stolen. Everyone else was brutally beaten to death, their usefulness complete. Kurapika survived by virtue of not being there when the massacre happened, as he was seeking a doctor for his best friend Pero. Kurapika was left the last Kurta, forced to bury the decapitated, eyeless bodies of his friends and family. Let's not forget all these happened at the age of 12. 12. As a child, Kurapika almost fell from a cliff if not for the interference of his best friend Pero. While he was unharmed, his friend Pero had harmed both his legs and both of his eyes, and their condition gets worse every day. This incident deeply affects Kurapika with feelings of guilt. Considering this as his own fault, he decided to solve it by going to the outside world and bringing back the best doctor to cure Pero. Kurapika's emotions were in turmoil as he witnessed the scarlet eyes of his clan being sold at the auction. To see something so deeply personal and painful to him treated as a commodity was heart-wrenching for God. To maintain his job as a bodyguard for the Nostrad family, Kurapika had to put on a professional facade. He had to keep his true feelings and motivations hidden, which was a constant struggle for someone driven by a vengeful desire to confront the Phantom Troop. The very people he was guarding were the ones who had purchased the Scarlet Eyes. Kurapika had to grapple with the ethical dilemma of protecting those who were, in his eyes, indirectly responsible for the pain and loss his clan had suffered. Working at the underground auction was an emotionally and morally challenging experience for Kurapika, and it showcased his resilience and determination as he navigated these difficult circumstances while keeping his true motives concealed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Up next, Kaneki.
なんで僕を一人にしたんだ。寂しかった。一人は嫌だ。僕を選んで欲しかった。僕のために生きて欲しかった。
おばを見殺しにしても、
見殺しにしても、
誰かを傷つけても、
傷つけても、
命を奪っても、
奪っても。
いいか。
The story of Kaneki Clan is the epitome of internal pain, conflict, and consequences of childhood neglects and traumas. To understand the tragedy of TG, one must intimately understand the character of Kaneki Ken in layers of different growth stages of his life. It was stated in the series that Kaneki doesn't remember his father. He died probably when Kaneki was still a baby. No one else, but only a mother beside him, made him naturally very, very attached to her, and for a shy and introverted kid like him, this got even more intense, but the family was quite poor financially, as his mother had to work 2-3 jobs to make a living. Amid all this, he used to be left alone to read books and dwell on his imaginations. The problem started when, while growing up and probably watching other kids, he probably asked his mother for toys or anything else like other children, but due to lack of finances, his mother used to shut him up harshly so that he won't ask for such luxuries again. This, together with occasional beatings, made a scar in his psyche regarding the gentle nature of his mother. Add all this to the story when his mother used to give attention to Kaneki's aunt and cared for her, neglecting the necessities of her own child just because she was incapable of saying no to her corrupted sister. Did his mother torture him much? But this leaving alone, this abandonment became like a physical torture in Kaneki's mind, which Rise used as a tool to make him strong later. Things started going bad when his mother died, and he became alone in the whole world. Moreover, his aunt adopted him. Initially, he was treated fine there, but as time progressed, the Veil woman showed her real character on this kid. She used to scold him on little things, and more badly physically tortured, and occasionally even left him hungry, WWE. When Kaneki performed better in school exams because of being a studious kid than her own child. All of this was too much for a sensitive kid of less than 10 years old. And his mind started to believe that his mother was a truly kind and gentle woman who just wanted to help others. The WCWs, in other words, he started to idealize his mother compared to his aunt. This is where his motto of the better to be hurt than to hurt others comes. One thing to keep in mind here is that Kaneki's mother wasn't a very kind person. His mind built an entirely new, though fake, memory about her as a coping mechanism for his current situation with his aunt and suppress his loneliness. After some time, Kaneki ran away from his aunt's house to live on government funds, completely alone, and this loneliness would have nearly killed him if he didn't meet Hyde, or Hyde hadn't included himself in Kaneki's life forcefully. And from that point on, the only person in his life became Hyde, and his goal was to become a knowledgeable fellow in Enterkami University. Kaneki's life had always been filled with isolation and loneliness. He yearned for connection, for love, for someone to understand him. When he met Rise, it felt like destiny had finally smiled upon him. Their connection was intense, and for a brief moment, he thought that he had found the love he had been searching for, but the cruel twist of fate turned their story into a tragedy. Kaneki couldn't have known that Rez was no ordinary person. She was a ghoul, a creature that survives by feeding on human flesh. Their love was a facade, and he was nothing more than a tantalizing meal in her eyes. The nightmarish realization that he had fallen for a predator shattered his world. The incident that followed, with Rise trying to devour him, left Kaneki grievously wounded and fighting for his life in the hospital. It was a painful reminder. Sometimes even the most beautiful connections can lead to the darkest of places. And then it happened. That one scene, that took this Kaneki trauma from a 5 to a 105, because that scene alone, I don't even know what they were thinking adding that scene. I get it, but that scene is one of the most demo. Jason is just crazy for what he did to Ken there. Pushed him to a point he was literally begging for Jason to kill him. That's how horrific that torture scene was in the series.
Today, I just woke up and I said, instead of waiting on a good day, waiting around, do ups and downs, waiting on something to happen, I just said, how far did you manage to count? That's right.
She was trying to keep me safe. It took your fingers and toes.
Orange Kool-Aid, go with Patron. No, hell no, it's still my ringtone. Free car wash, had to clean up the Dodge. Get back when I can, just playing my part. Last night hit the big 3, bouncing Air Force Ones, full tall tees. Man, I'm loving BG.
After getting tortured through Jason and destroying the internal belief system of it's better to get hurt than to hurt others, He just changed. A mental shift drastic enough to completely rotate his personality on 180 degrees. To become strong enough to destroy everyone else became his motto because he thought that to live is to devour others, plain and simple. The thing is, he wasn't just doing this to save his loved ones, but also to save himself from being alone again. Save himself from losing everything again. But selfish purpose was the main driver behind him becoming so immensely strong. At the same time, because he wasn't a naturally violent man, this choice of his was killing him from the inside and became a constant internal conflict. After his friends pull him out of his dragon form, he emerges as his final and most stable version of himself. He's no longer suicidal, depressed, or taking on impossible tasks by himself. He accepts help from people. This is where the magical third option of Yes comes up with whether he can be happy or not. All thanks to Tuka, who after rejecting and neglecting him for so long, finally embraced him and all his pains. Kaneki Ken's character embodies the resilience of the human spirit, navigating the complexities of identity, fear, and transformation. His journey in Tokyo Ghoul serves as a poignant reminder of the internal battles we all face and the capacity for growth and compassion, even in the darkest of circumstances. So ends the first part of this Pain Olympics. That's enough suffering for one day. See you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe, as part 2 and 3 will be coming soon. Adios.
Come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.